Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. My name is Stampo Grabinski with We Take Massage Therapy and Private Personal Training, aka Dr. Jiu-Jitsu. And today I have my good friend here, Dimitry guy. He is a World Championship finalist. He is a Soviet Union champion and US Open champion in fencing, and he's been doing it for 44 years. He also has his own academy. It's called the La Jolla Fencing Academy. Is that correct?
Hello everybody.
Today what we thought we'd do is using my massage therapy personal training experience that I deal with clients who have repetitive strain injuries, back pains, neck pains from different sports, from different types of activities, and from the daily jobs. I thought today we'd show you a couple of movements that Dimitry will perform, and I will explain how through fencing, even though it's a great sport, your body's in a certain position and you have to do repetitive motions over and over again. And if one doesn't adjust those motions and strengthen or tighten or release the muscles that could be contributing factors to overuse, then performance could decrease. So let's get into it. Now, there's a lot of muscles that we could talk about, a lot of stabilizers, many muscles, but we have to understand that the body works as a functional unit and there's a global musculature system. We'll make more videos later about different subsystems, but today I just want to explain a couple of motions that he'll be demonstrating when you're fencing and what happens to the body. Now, let's start with just his feet. When he advances, if you notice, when he takes a step forward, he's going to lift up his foot. Is that correct? He does that motion right there. He lifts up his foot. Is that
All pressure is on the left hand, leg now.
all pressure is on the left leg? That means that this side is loaded. And most fencing is done on that side. Is that correct?
Well, that's the step.
That's the step.
So when you push, everything is here.
Everything is there.
And when you move back, everything is here.
Everything is there. So you notice that yes, both legs are working, but it's constantly going forward. That leg, that side, the hamstrings, the glutes on that side. The glute on that side extends the hip. It can work on hip extension. And this is the lunge, right? When you do this big lunge and you drive off the back leg. So he's pushing off of this glute, which is extending his hip over and over and over and over again. Now when he retrieves, he's using his adductor muscles as well. When he pulls the leg back, these muscles are working as well when he pulls that leg back. So you can see that over the years of constantly, go ahead, advancing, lifting up that foot and retrieving, the weight shifting, but those muscles are getting worked all the time. They don't fence on the other side. They usually fence on that side. This is the stance. One more thing. When he lifts up his foot, this is called dorsiflexion. And that's the advance. You have to lift up the foot. When he steps, after he lifts it up, he's going to step how? He's going to push off, right. So it's heel, toe, right?
And moving back,
And moving
toe,
back, toe,
heel.
toe, heel.
Heel, toe. Left leg, toe, heel. Right, heel, toe.
Which means that when he takes a step like this, the anterior tibialis, which is responsible for dorsiflexion, is constantly getting worked, all on this leg. And when he pushes off, it's the gastrocnemius. But when he's moving back, it's heel-toe. So this is the load for the anterior tibialis. Now, yes, we can talk about other muscles, but we're going to talk about the anterior tibialis because that is the lead foot, and that is the step you have to take. Also, if he steps one more time for me, just go ahead and step out into a big lunge.
Step, lunge.
Now, when he's holding a lunge, let me ask you a question. If you're holding that position, are you ever going to be like this? I mean, hunch forward? Are you going to like pull your shoulders forward?
Well,
like
you're not
this?
supposed to,
You're
but
not
a lot
supposed
of people make this mistake.
So what are you supposed to do? What's
Like
the
this.
posture? That means that your shoulder blades have to be doing what? Pinched back. Is that correct?
A little, like this.
A little.
I mean, and then you will have to be able to recover fast.
To recover.
So, if you do it correctly, right?
Right.
Obviously, every muscle is working, obviously. But
Right.
in the heat of the bout,
Right.
you will probably make some technical mistakes,
Right.
which will put extra strain on your muscles. and
Right.
joints.
Right.
So you have to be careful. That is why what Stan is doing with me and some of my highly competitive students is really helpful. It's actually helping us during the competition season, basically.
Thank you. One last thing. The muscles that are responsible that help you when you're holding this posture are your middle traps, trapezius, and the rhomboids. So if Dimitry steps out one more time, all the way. Yes, there are a lot of other muscle groups, but in order for a fencing competitor to keep this nice posture, the rhomboids, the muscles that help you retract the shoulder blades together, and the middle trapezius, they help with scapular retraction. In other words, you pull your shoulder blades back and retract your scapula. If you don't do this, constantly rolling your shoulders forward is going to put unnecessary pressure not only on your neck, but it might throw off your center of gravity as well. So these are some of the muscles you might want to watch out for. And lastly, every time you do this, you're bringing the elbow and the shoulder away from your body. Is that correct? Over time, the middle deltoid, the anterior deltoid, also the subscap, which is responsible for external rotation of the shoulder. But if you notice, his elbow and the shoulder moves away. It moves away from the body. Right, and it also kind of rotates a little bit out, kind of opens up.
You see, do you hear the sound?
I hear the sound.
So you can accomplish this only by doing it really snappy.
Right.
But if you do it, you won't have a sound.
I won't have the sound. I'm not a fencing competitor. No sound.
Right. In order for you to accomplish sound, you have to withdraw a little, and that's a mistake.
I have to withdraw and throw it forward, which, okay.
Which is a mistake because you might lose a counterattack. So
Ah.
it's all here, basically.
Ah. And what is the sound? What does it mean when the sound is happening?
Then it means that you're like really hitting it fast and deep and snappy, but it puts a lot of pressure on your arm.
And on the forearm muscles, right?
Yeah,
And the extensors and the flexors. Do you think it could also lead to a neck on this side being overused because it's also all on the neck?
That is why you have to do the massage
Exercise
therapy
stretch.
and special exercises to balance it out.
Balance it
basically.
out.
Yes. So, and that is what we are discussing here today.
Right. So lastly, I just want to leave you guys with closing. We discussed the motions that create imbalances from this particular sport, but I bet a lot of fencing competitors and people that practice fencing out there also sit behind a desk all day. They could be electricians. They could be people that are doing things with their hands that are overworking the same muscles. Or maybe these people go to the gym, lift a lot of weights, not realizing that I have to go fence and I'm going to be creating imbalances on different sides of my body. That's why stretching, massaging, and knowing what muscles are causing the repetitive motion on what side of the body, counterbalancing it with exercise and stretching is super important for your performance and posture. Thank you again.
And I just want to say something
Yes.
before I leave. Even though fencing is a great sport with very little injuries comparing with other sports, we still like to come to Stan's studio, which I recommend and endorse. And I'm not just a friend, as Stan said, I'm also a client. I've been fencing all my life for Soviet Union national team, and then for United States national team. I fenced World Cups, World Championships, and I endorse Stan Sturia. He's an incredible guy, extremely knowledgeable, and not only I'm coming to the studio myself, I'm also sending my nationally ranked students to improve their performance, to mitigate the risk of micro injuries, and we are doing really well. We have a reigning world champion right now in our studio, and one kid is actually going to fence on Sunday at Cadets World Championship in Cairo, Egypt. So this is a highly competitive studio, La Jolla Fencing Academy, and I sent my students and myself, basically, we come to stand studio. So that's it.
Thank you for watching. Have a good day.